Hello and welcome to Macbeth Revision Quotes. Today we'll be looking at Act 2 of Macbeth and the revision quotes involved. In the first scene of Act 2, Banquo says, "Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose." This is reference to the thoughts that plague him while he sleeps. When Banquo asks Macbeth if he thinks about the weird sisters, he says, "I think not of them," which is, of course, a lie. He later says, "If you shall cleave to my consent, when this it shall make on our view." He later says, "Is this a dagger which I see before me?" referring to the imaginary dagger that he sees. He also says, "Yet I see thee still," when he attempts to take up the dagger. Act 2, Scene 2, does not show the murder actually happen. It takes place off stage. This is significant. Macbeth says, "Methought I heard a voice cry, 'Sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep,' referencing to the fact that Macbeth will not sleep after he has committed the murder. He later says, "Will all great Neptune Ocean's blood wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand hath will rather than multitudinous sea incarnate, making the green one red," referencing the fact that it is hard for him to wash away the blood. Lady Macbeth says, "A little water clears us of this deed," referencing to the washing of the blood to get rid of the evidence. Macbeth says, "Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking, I would thou couldst." Macbeth is saying that he wished that Duncan were alive, even though he has just killed him. When Lennox arrives, he says, "The night has been unruly where we lay." He also says, "Some say the earth was ferocious and did shake." Lennox is referencing the fact that while Duncan died, it affected the earth. When Macduff uncovers Duncan's murder, he says, "Most sacrilegious murder." And Macbeth states, "Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time." This shows hypocrisy and a dramatic response, for he is attempting to throw suspicion off himself. Banquo says, "In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undiled presence I fight of treasonous malice." Malcolm says, "To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which if a false man does easy, I'll go to England." This shows that Malcolm is not taken in by the apparent grief of the lords of Scotland, so he decides to flee Scotland in case he is also at risk. His brother Donalbain responds by saying, "There's daggers in men's smiles, the nearer in blood, the nearer bloody," mentioning the fact that in his opinion a relative killed his father. In the next scene, Ross states, "By the clock eats day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp," mentioning the fact that it is an unnatural type of darkness. Here, Act 2 ends. Join us in the next video where we'll be looking at Act 3. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Macbeth Revision Quotes. Once again, please join us next time, and thank you for listening. If you'd like to listen to the full Macbeth, please click on it on the other video.